thank you guys for the thumbs up, man. And I was just experimenting because I didn't even put a title on that video or any hashtags, and it did pretty good, especially for me, to get almost 1,000 views. That's good for me. And so we're going to talk about this story, man. Now, I first got wind of this story by Dr. Delbert Blair way back in the 90s. And when I first heard the story, I was like, you know, I just really didn't think much of it. But then time went by and I became a truck driver. And I used to run late at night. And when I used to run these loads, man, I would get tired. So what I used to listen to was Coast to Coast. So you listen to the Coast to Coast Live with Art Bell. Yeah, this was before George Norrie. George Norrie used to come on as a special guest to give Art Bell a break, or sometimes they would be on there together. But man, somebody came on that show and they talked about Simeon ToKo. And this is what I remember. This is the original story that I was given. They said that he was born in a village, either it was in the Congo or it was in Angola. I don't know. But they said that he was born, and when he was born, a high priest felt his presence. And he came to the village and went straight to the house where he was born because he just wanted to see the child. Now, I think they said he left the mother something, but he didn't really tell her anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to add to the story because it would be nice if he said, oh, and he said this, you have a precious baby and this child is special, but I don't remember that. But I remember the part where they said that he came to visit the child and he went directly to the home where the child was born. Now, Simeon ToKo, he grew up to have a regular life. And then as he got a little older, started going into adulthood, he ventured out on his own. Now, when he ventured out on his own, he was messing with women, drinking, he was having fun. He was living a regular life like a young man would entering adulthood. He came back. Now, when he came back, he went to the Congos. This is how I remember this part here. He went to the Congos to live with his family, and things weren't going so good. So he began to work in the Congos, work in the mines like everyone else because he had to feed his family. Now, through the process of time, there was a church that he would go to, and the church was like, it was just like a regular Baptist-like church, but it was a Baptist-like church, but it was a spiritual church at the same time. And then one day he went to the church, man, and the people, I guess they took a certain liking to him or they saw some kind of light in him. So one day they decided to gather around him and to pray over him. They call this the prayer of activation. We got it. The Imperial Priesthood, we have the prayer. All right. But here, and then within the prayer, it says something like, Lord, if you feel free or if you feel able, that I am worthy of your grace, and if you feel that I am deserving of it. And it was something like that there. It was a very humble prayer that they prayed over him. And then it said that the congregation, they began to speak and started speaking in tongues, and then some of them started seeing visions. And then after that, he was a changed man. Now, after that, he was able to prophesy. He was able to heal people, and he was able to see into people and know exactly what their ailments was. He was powerful. He became powerful like that because of this prayer that they did over him. So they started paying attention to him because they like, you know what? He's getting in the way. And he's preaching to these doggone people, and they're starting to listen to him because he began to start this thing called a church called ToKoism. So there's like, you know what? Well, he's non-violent. I don't know if they said that. But they took him and they locked him up, put some trumped up charges, and they threw him in prison. Now, when they threw him in prison, they had plans on wiping this dude out because he was getting in the way of the money. So the first time they tried to take this dude out, I can't remember fully. I don't know if they sent some guys in there to attack him first, but this is what I fully remember. They said that they had one of those machines with the tractor with the blades on it in the back, the cut like this here. They said that thing would get tangled up every now and then. They would have to have somebody go up under there and clean it up. So they was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to send him up under there, And like, ToKo, get over there and clean those weeds off of the blades. So when he went to go clean the weeds off of the blades, the prison guard was like, so then the guy started it up and chopped his body up into pieces. Man, this is some unbelievable sounding stuff. They said it kicked his doggone, his body remains back into the weeds. They said this guy reformed and came back. If I'm not mistaken, the guy who started that thing back up, he quit. Not only did he quit, he joined the Church of ToKoism. Now here's the other part of the story. They said they sedated him while he was in prison. They knocked him out, put something in him, put him to sleep. They grabbed him and cut his heart out of his body. They thought they had him. They said that he came through. He woke up and said, "What are you doing? What did you do with my heart?" He said, "Place my heart right back in my body. What are you doing?" That's why you see the picture of him holding his shirt up like this here, showing that scar. They took his heart off. Now here's the other part of the story. They said, "You know what? We're going to take you over there to London. Some people want to talk to you." So while they were going over the ocean, they grabbed him and they decided to throw him out of the airplane. They said when they grabbed him and they were trying to throw him out of the airplane kind of like stopped working and started going straight down just like this here. Like if I go down, everybody else is going down with me. So they had to cut him loose. Now, the parts of the story where they say they cut his body up and placed it inside of these some kind of containers, you know what I'm saying, that could hold nuclear waste. And they said that they spread that out to different parts around the world, and he still came together. I didn't originally hear that. That part of the story came out later, so I don't know what to think about that. But the part of the story where they said that he said, obviously, it's a given that you don't want me here, so I'll back off. But he said, but in the future, there will be more of me to come, and there will be nothing you can do about it. But that's not the end of the story. I forgot the major part of the story. Forgive me. But when they had a war with the soldiers within the Congo, they said that he called upon some angelic-like forces and beings. And they said that the angelic forces, they said they made the guns of the soldiers, the guns would jam up, they wouldn't work. They said that these big tall beings, I was just talking about those giant angels. They said that these big tall beings were coming through and they were just sweeping the doggone roads like this here, woof, 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 knocking over the tanks and the trucks, woof, woof, woof. And then if I'm not mistaken, they said these little ghostly characters came out and they wore them soldiers out. I can't believe I forgot that part of the story. I'm glad I remembered. But the reason why I'm telling you this here is because he lived his life as a regular person at first. He didn't know that he had these supernatural abilities. And then the people of the church who prayed around him and said that prayer, they activated him and he became a supernatural being. Those people who he said that were going to come back as a many, that's you. Make no mistake. And you better believe this. I have that prayer. I modified it a little bit to fit you and I. If you want to see that prayer, let me know. I'll post that bad boy up. And then we can do it one day. We can all get together and we'll read the doggone thing at the same time, at the same date. How about that? But anyway, man, I hope you enjoyed this here. I'm just giving you the story that I was given. This is your man, L. Judge. Peace and blessings. And then again, if you want to do something with that prayer, Because I'll show you the original, then I'll show you what I did with it.